Good evening. Welcome to Grandma's Attic Music Review. We've got such an exciting show. I am so glad to be with you tonight, and I thank you. I'm grateful for your continued patronage of this show, your continued nice shout-outs, and your continued, should I call it, loyalty to this show. You're amazing. As our viewers, we just love you, and thank you for that. Tonight's show, just so you know that I'm always looking for music that is 5-star and amazing and original, and every once in a while someone comes on the scene that we didn't expect. Sometimes someone comes on the scene because they're moving on to broaden their horizons and take on their own persona and do their own thing. I had heard that this young gentleman had come to live in Lisbon. Is that right, Lisbon?
Yeah, in the quiet corner.
The quiet corner of Connecticut. Lisbon. And I was like, there's no way he's living in Lisbon. So I reached out to him, I think it was on Facebook, and said, well, hi, this is me. I know you don't know me, but I'd like to get to know you. And then I got a note from our friend Joe, and he said, you need to check out. And I'm like, I'm already on it. And then we got on the phone and we talked. And we have so many things in common about the way that we treat humanity and the way that we treat our veterans. And I have him booked up. TV, radio, magazine. I'm all over this one. But tonight, it's all about you guys getting to listen to this amazing musician, do what he does best. We'll talk a little bit, but I want you to just sit back, relax, welcome into your heart and into your home, Mr. Travis Hyll.
Thank you very much, Grandma Dot Haynes and the crew here for having me. I'm going to start tonight with a song about some work I did before as a line worker. And taught me to really respect people that do that for a living. Very hard work. People going out there and making sure you have electricity and internet and all of that. Sometimes it's a thankless job. You don't even see the people doing it, but certainly notice when there's a problem. And they risk their lives to keep that going. So this is a song I wrote called The Lineman Song. For the sunrise, strap on my boots and wipe the sleep from my eyes. Throw on my uniform, hop in my car, sip a coffee, drive out to the company yard. Load up my truck with cables and tools, complete the latest training on safety and rules. When I get to the job site, you better believe everything must be done before I can leave. When the storm comes, I'm always on call. I'll be there in action when the power lines fall. When you're cool in the summer and warm on a winter's night. Think of the lineman that turned darkness to light. My line of work, no one is spared from the sweat-drenching heat, the snow and the rain, but the power we bring is nothing compared to the power it takes us to fight through the pain of carrying the ladders, climbing the poles. I'll retire in 10 years if I don't die first. I'm just glad to come home, sleep in my bed, and thank the good Lord for another day I didn't end up dead. When the storm comes, I'm always on call. I'll be there in action when the power lines fall. When you're cool in the summer and warm on a winter's night. Think of the lineman that turned darkness to light. When the storm comes, I'm always on call. I'll be there in action when the power lines fall. When you're cool in the summer and warm on a winter's night. Think of the lineman that turned darkness to light. This is a song I wrote for my wife when we were dating. Well, obviously we weren't married yet, but I knew that she was the one. And yeah, when you find the right person, you know, you hold on to them and you make it work. So this song is about that. After several years of being single and meeting a lot of people, and things didn't work out, and you know, we didn't see eye to eye. Well, I met this woman that came from the other side of the planet to work here, and you know, we ended up being soulmates. So. Amazing how that works. This is a song I wrote called You Found Me. Reach out your hand, let's make another journey. Whichever way the wind decides to blow, and when the world seems to be falling apart, we'll still be together. It's the only thing I know. I look into your eyes and forget all the desolate years. They stole my hope away, but you found me. I look into your eyes and forget all the desolate years. They stole my hope away, but you found me. Let's run away and make a life somewhere new, where the land is pure and the people are kind. And throughout time I know you'll always be true. So take my hand and we'll leave this place behind. I look into your eyes and forget all the desolate years. They stole my hope away, but you found me. I look into your eyes and forget all the desolate years. They stole my hope away, but you found me. Desolate years, they stole my hope away, but you found me. I look into your eyes and forget all the desolate years. They stole my hope away, but you found me. Yeah, you found me. Yeah, you found me. Thank you very much. Well, I grew up, I should talk a little bit and stretch out some time, I think. I grew up listening to my dad play Johnny Cash on the guitar, and he was from Fort Worth, Texas, and he grew up in the 50s and early 60s, listening to a lot of that old classic country stuff, and it just, gets in your blood. And his mom sang Southern gospel and Carter family songs and things like that, so I always loved that really old school sound of country, because it makes me think of my grandparents and my family. It's just a part of our background. And as time went on and I became an adult, I realized that many of the experiences I had were quite suitable for a country song. And this is one of them. I wrote this song in kind of that old honky-tonk Hank Williams, Johnny Cash, etc. fashion. And it's about growing up where I did. There's really no unions and not a lot of job security. The people will work really hard in a temp contract and try to get hired on full-time permanent employee, and it just doesn't happen most of the time. And so you end up working so hard or being at a place a long time, and they just get rid of you. I've had 3 jobs outsourced myself, so I know that experience. And this song's about being loyal to the company, trying to work your way up the ladder, and then the ladder gets pulled out from underneath you, and you got to start all over again somewhere else. And you were loyal to that company, and they call somebody like that a company man. That's the name of this song. If you like it, it's on Spotify and Amazon Music and all that other places. So take a look online. Travis Hyll, Company Man. Thank you. I'm a good old worker. Yes, I'm a company man. When it comes to moving forward, I'll do anything I can. Yeah, you best just step aside, 'cause I'm a company man. When it comes to making money, I always do what I'm told. Every one of my waking hours, you know I've already sold. Lord knows you've got to earn that silver before you get the gold. I'm a good old worker. Yes, I'm a company man. When it comes to moving forward, I'll do anything I can. best just step aside, 'cause I'm a company man. Over these past few weeks, I've seen productions moving slow. Boss said their stocks are a-falling, so they have to let me go. 13 years down the drain, now I've got nothing left to show. That's what I get. I'm a good old worker. Yes, I'm a company man. When it comes to moving forward, I'll do anything I can. Yeah, you best just step aside, 'cause I'm a company man. Well, I guess I'm moving forward with my talent and my pride. I'll go find another company, and there I'll hit my stride. I know that loyalty is a virtue to your God and your wife, but never let no business take control of your life. I'm a good old worker. Yes, I'm a company man. When it comes to moving forward, I'll do anything I can. Yeah, you best just step aside, 'cause I'm a company man. Thank you very much. Yeah, I've done everything from working in the warehouse to working in the corporate office and anything in between. All kinds of stuff, man. I love playing music the most, so luckily I'm doing quite well with that and glad to be here. And I couldn't be here without the support of people like you helping me and giving me this visibility. I really appreciate that. And lots of great, thank you very much. Lots of great venues up here in New England that book live music regularly. I was actually in shock one time to see that there were 36 live music events in New London County alone on one Friday night last summer. So you wouldn't see that in many places in the country. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. And of course, you know, look how many you've had on your show here and given that visibility. So very appreciated. This is a single that I wrote in 2023. This is a song I wrote. Of course, my wife and I had been married a couple years at that point. And, you know, we went through a lot together. It's been a challenge in our particular situation. And not each other, you know, we love each other very much, but it's the, you know, just trials and tribulations of adult life, right? And this song is about finding that right person and staying together through thick and thin. And, you know, it's not always a popular concept, but it's something that we believe in. And this one is called This Gold Ring. Once again, it's available online if you like this one. I've known my share of partners, yet I've seen all the ways they can be. I drove some away, some left on their own, but none of them did it for me. I've known the depths of depression, the darkness of being alone, and I've roamed the streets at all hours of the night. Lord, I'm grateful that I made it home. But I met a woman who saved me, who cared for me when no one else did. She helped make me into a responsible man, and she made me smile like a kid. We have an unbreakable bond, standing test after test of time. That doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt when I get a piece of her mind. I wear this gold ring on my finger, and it reminds me every day of the freedom I lost for the love that I gained. Together in happiness and dismay. To me, her love's like an ocean. If I stay too long, I'll drown. Her love's like the gravity that binds me to earth, comfortably holding me down. Without her, I'd drift like a nomad, a life neither here nor there, making friends at the bar and playing guitar, but no one would actually care. We all have our ups and downs, yeah, we bear both smiles and frowns. This married life can be so full of strife, but it sure beats being lonely in town. And I know that I'll die right beside her, that's the only way I want to go. And when I'm in heaven, I'll wait for her there, watching the green gardens grow. I wear this gold ring on my finger, and it reminds me every day of the freedom I lost for the love that I gained. Together in happiness and dismay. Thank you very much. I'm going to switch over to my 12 string here, so excuse that. All right. So I got into playing country music a few years after I started playing folk. I kind of grew up listening to old time and Celtic music and some bluegrass and things, which has its intrusions into my songs, I guess you could say. But this is an old Northern English folk song from like the 1500s or something, and I just like playing it. So this is Scarborough Fair. I believe Skyman and Garfunkel did a version of this, so it's public domain. I should be good to play it. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine. Tell her to make me a cambric shirt, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, without no seam nor needlework. Then she'll be a true love of mine. Tell her to find me an acre of land, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, between the salt and the sea strand. Then she'll be a true love of mine. Tell her to reap it with the sickle of leather, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, and gather it all in a bunch of heather. Then she'll be a true love of mine. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, remember me to one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine. Thank you very much. Absolutely. That would be great. All right, this is a song I wrote in honor of my family, my ancestors, and anybody else who worked the land for a living, all the people that produce our food out there. And even if you just have a garden at home, you know, taking part in that process of growing your own food and knowing where it comes from. To me, it's a spiritual thing, and I really enjoy doing it. I've done it for probably 20 years with my family, and ever since I was a kid, actually. My grandpa riding me around on his trailer, good God, on his tractor. He didn't live in a trailer. My grandma did. No, but on his tractor, big red tractor, through that red clay in North Carolina, picking tomatoes off the vine and eating them and all of that. So he got me into that as a kid. So for all those people out there, I know this is sort of cattle country of Connecticut. So out of respect for all these farmers, I'm going to play this song. It's called Hands in the Soil. does a man good to labor, to sweat, and to toil. You're closest to God with your hands in the soil. Raising your food from its moment of birth, seeing it take its very first footsteps on earth, grazing on the green grass, head in the trough full of feed, plowing and sowing the acres of field with seed. Grandpa planted those grapes on the old narrow vines. Decades have passed and they grow sweeter with time. They taste even better in a glass of homemade wine. This land was once his, but now I'm proud that it's mine. People in the city panic and clear out the shelves. And here in the country, we know how to care for ourselves. Reap what we sow and we work for each dime of our pay. And those who don't bother to will find out on Judgment Day. Grandpa planted those grapes on the old narrow vines. Decades have passed and they grow sweeter with time. They taste even better in a glass of homemade wine. This land was once his, and now I'm proud that it's mine. This land was once his, and now I'm proud that it's mine. It does a man good to labor, to sweat, and to toil. You're closest to God with your hands in the soil.
So while Travis is coming over and getting himself situated, let's talk about what's going on. There is so much music going on, and there's festivals starting and outdoor concerts starting. Our friend just played the Daffodil Fest in the rain, so that's a thing. Get out there, look up things online, look at your event pages on your Facebook pages, look and see who's playing, support local music. You know what to do. It's good weather. Let's get out there and support our local economy by supporting local music. Let's now talk to Travis. This will be fun. Welcome to look at that fancy shirt. Holy moly.
Well, you always look so nice with your outfits. I had to put on my fanciest shirt.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Thank you very much.
I would actually wear a shirt like that. That's fun. So you said that you're living in the quiet corner of Connecticut, but you're really not. You live like right where the two major casinos in the state are. Like, so that there's nothing quiet about us.
Yeah.
Here in Connecticut, there's nothing quiet about us. We like music.
That's right.
And that's what you saw when you opened up and saw all those music events all happening in New London County. Back in the 80s, it was like that too back in the 80s.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, I'm excited to have you here.
Too.
I'd like to tell the audience, if I may, I think I'm going to preface it with a question.
Okay.
How do you have a stage that has a name and a last name, and then a first name and a name, and they're all the same names? How do you get Travis Hyll and Randy Travis on the same stage without getting things mixed up?
Oh, well,
How did
nobody's
that
going to
work?
mistake me for him. That's
Well, you're a damn fine musician there, sir.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So, was that kind of weird having those
Oh, no.
those same name things going on?
No, well, both of us are, well, he's, that's his stage name. Their real surname was Trawick. And on my grandma's side of the family in western North Carolina, we have Trawick. So we're technically like third cousin, twice removed from Randy Travis on that side.
Wow.
Yeah,
When did
everybody's
you find
related.
that
in
out? Were you already playing with him when you found that out?
Yeah, actually, I was playing with his brother and his nephew in a band, and it was an event with Randy Travis there where the mayor gave the key to the city to Randy.
Yeah.
And so I got to meet Randy and his wife, and when I was rehearsing with his brother, they had Randy's gold records up on the wall that he'd given his brother as a gift and all of this. So that was the most, I guess you could say, privileged, closest moment to somebody that, Randy Travis has sold like 25 million records.
Right,
It was like
right,
incredible.
right.
So, what do you say when you meet him and his wife? I don't know. I just talked a little bit, just chit chat, like, oh yeah, you guys live in Texas now. My dad was from there, and they're like, oh yeah, that's just down the road. So, I don't know what to say. Like, what do I say? Hey, thanks for all your music and everything. He did great stuff, and his brother's super talented too, and that was just an awesome opportunity. Actually, I heard about it from the music store I was working at. I was doing lessons, and the owner was like, hey, they're looking for somebody to play in this band. Are you interested? I'm like, no, yeah, of course,
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But that was a lot of fun.
A nice opportunity for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, good people.
What brought you to Connecticut?
Well,
Now that's a question.
that's a question. There's a lot to that. We were in the market to buy a house, and at the time my wife and I were living in the Raleigh area. Well, actually right in Raleigh. And everything was just through the roof. I mean, houses 3-4 times more expensive than they had been 5-10 years earlier and stuff. And we just found the perfect opportunity up here, and we liked the area where we live. It's quaint, it's quiet, just decent people.
Yep.
And I love a lot of things about North Carolina. That's where I grew up, but it became chaotic. There's too many people moving there, and the workers are miserable because the one guy at Jersey Mike's is sitting there slicing orders all day long for to-go orders because there's so much population there now.
Right.
So they can't get a break.
That's hard.
You come up here and, there's no traffic most of the time you're driving on the road. So it's, maybe not New London, Groton, but, in the quiet corner.
I was just going to say, you've been to 95 lately?
Oh, yeah. But no, comparatively, the population density of eastern Connecticut is way lower than like Charlotte or Raleigh and stuff. And we just like it up here. We got married in New England. Right outside of Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
I grew up there.
Really?
I grew up in West Lebanon, Maine, which is like a hop, skip, and it's like going from New London to Ledyard. That's about how far apart
You
they
cross
are.
that bridge and
Yeah.
That's a beautiful area.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I did. I grew up there. Portsmouth is a beautiful place, and it's where the Navy shipyard is.
Yeah.
Up there.
I took my uncle there, and he loved it. He was in the Navy and went all over the world, so
Right.
I took him to see that stuff, and he loved it. He's taking pictures of everything.
Very
so, beautiful place.
historical. So what a great place to get married.
Yeah. So we just love New England. The short answer, we love New England, and it's just got like you said, so much history, beautiful architecture. I love how people here will still live in houses that were built in the 1600s and keep them up. It's just
1600, 1700, 1800. I just bought a house. Well, not just, but that was built in 1893, and I'm in love with it.
Wow.
I love it, love it, love it.
Very cool.
So let's talk about music, or we're going to run out of time.
Yeah, we're talking
and we
about
want to talk about you and music.
Okay.
When do you feel like you started writing music? Maybe we should start with, when did you realize that music was something you were invested in?
I started playing my dad's bass. I was in the car with him, and I just said, "What is bass?" I was a kid, And he said, he didn't say, oh, it's the low frequencies. He said, oh, did I never show you my bass? He thought I was talking about bass guitar, and that was it. So it was like he accidentally introduced me to an instrument.
Right.
And I picked it up and started playing it upside down. Of course, he was right-handed. So I was like 10 years old or something. And then I was writing stupid comedic songs with my friend, you know. About that point in time, I think like Limp Bizkit was popular on the radio and stuff. So we were like kind of making like Limp Bizkit style songs because it was funny to us.
Right.
And then 14 years old, I was writing like hard rock and metal and stuff and playing a lot of venues, biker bars and stuff that I shouldn't have even been
Wow.
allowed to be in. but
Right, right.
Yeah, biker bars up in like Hickory, North Carolina and stuff.
So some of that hardcore music that you were playing, who were your influences in that? I assumed you were country music influenced, but it sounds like you had some rock and roll
Yeah.
influence. Who were some of your influences when you were 14 and 15 years old?
Well, the country music stuff was like what my grandparents sang, and you know, my grandmother and her sister were identical twins, and they would sing together all throughout their lives, and so I heard that, you know, Southern gospel, Carter Family, and all really
Yep, yep.
old school country stuff. And then my
Yeah.
dad listened to Johnny Cash and Hank Williams and things like that, and then of course my friends' dads listened to like Leonard Skinner and more of the Southern rock. So that was there, but it was kind of like I was saturated with that, so I wanted to do something different.
Right.
And I remember my dad put on the record Boston, their self-titled album, and I
Right.
really loved
I
the
remember that album like it was yesterday.
Tom Schultz guitar melodies and stuff were
Yeah.
just so good. And then I started to listen to some metal bands from Europe that had kind of a similar style of lead guitar, like Iron Maiden, In Flames, stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
And that's what I liked. I liked that kind of folky melody to the guitar riffs and a little bit of classical influence to it. And at the same time, in learning to play that, it kind of gave me the skill set to play more of like the bluegrassy licks and things, because
Right.
it was kind of similar, just a little bit of different phrasing and stuff. And I'm not nearly as good as those guys, but it's still, you know, instead of just basically strumming, like as you saw, I get bored with just strumming and I throw in like a little melody
Right.
lick
I see
on
that.
there.
I see
And that
that.
comes from that influence of listening to bands that had good melodic guitarists. So whether it was metal or whatever, then I got into Celtic, and then I got into the country and stuff. Later on, actually, it was sort of a returning to my roots. And, you know, after my grandparents had passed away and all of that, and now my dad passed away a few years ago, there's sort of this, you know, as you get older, there's that kind of tendency to return to your roots and respect
There
it
is.
more than you did when
There
you were
is.
younger, right? So that's kind of what it comes from, I guess you could say.
I agree. I agree. So you've got your 6-string, and just for the record, everybody plays a 6-string. What brought you to the level of wanting to play a 12-string? It's kind of a whole different kind of animal. I think of mandolins and 12 strings. They're kind of that same kind of mix. What brought you to the 12-string?
Yeah, that's a good point. Is the mandolin has those double coarse strings where you
Exactly.
get that kind of chorusy drone to it, and the 12-string. I like to actually play something that I feel like is a guitar and a mandolin at the same time. You know, so like I'll drone the low notes and then I'll play high to get kind of a mandolin-like phrasing going on top of it. So that's part of it, and also it's popular with like Irish Celtic music circles. And
It is.
And the tuning that I use too is open. It's dadgad, they call it. It's kind of a D-modal tuning. That was popular in Irish Celtic
It was.
circles. So that, you know, my interest in Celtic music basically, and then I just, yeah. So that's super based off of Irish Celtic music for me. It was a fascination with that made me play the 12-string.
Nice. Now, when you perform, I'm going to assume that you're out there trying to perform a lot, and you've been doing some open mics and getting out there, and you've gotten some good gigs in the area. Do you play more your 6-string or your 12-string when you're out there performing by yourself in the local area?
Well, I have to say, I think I'm pretty blessed in the fact that, no offense to people that play open mic nights, it's a great way to meet people, but I haven't actually played any open mic nights up here.
Oh, I thought that we talked about that, but
I played
maybe
over 50 different venues so far in New England since 2023.
Nice.
Coming up here, and
welcome
all
to the
kinds of
hood.
places. Yeah, it's so many beautiful places. I mean, I could just stand there and look out at the water at places and just be like, man, I'm actually here. This is amazing. But What was that again? I'm sorry. I started thinking about places I played at.
So when you're playing for an audience,
Oh, yeah.
do you play your 6-string or your 12-string more?
It's mostly the 6-string, for
Yeah?
sure, because more repertoire available on that, and it's easier to play in different keys. The 12-string I have in this sort of open droning tuning, so it limits it. But if the song is in that key, or I can capo to it, sometimes I use it. But a lot of times I play the electric I have like custom studio tracks.
Okay.
So that's sort of like a one-man band thing, because if you're playing at bars, you need to be louder than the people, louder than the drunk people, and try to get them up dancing and stuff, and play the acoustic, and you're just in the background, So I opt to do that. In an environment like this is great for acoustic.
This is perfect
Yeah.
for we love originals.
Yeah, well, that's very
So
good. Thank
you
you.
you played some pretty impressive love songs in your set. So other than your amazing wife, that you are obviously very in love with, what makes you write a song?
Well, like all of my original songs are based on real life experience. So I know it's popular for a lot of people to just kind of have a ghostwriter, and they sing these songs that are not something they've actually even lived. But every song I write is about something I've actually lived, and so it's just documenting something that I'm thinking or feeling at the time.
I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
Do you write the words first or the music first?
Usually the words, I would say it's almost like writing a poem, like I come up with a poignant line and then I base it off of that and just
Right.
keep going. And then afterwards I just add whatever chords feel like appropriate for it,
And do you play your songs for your wife before you take them on stage?
Yeah, she gets to hear everything and approve of it,
It's nice to have that kind of support at home, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I have a spouse that read every paper I wrote when I was in grad school. Every
Wow.
single paper I wrote, she read.
That's awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
It's awesome. So I'm going to give you one last question. First, I'm going to remind you that you're coming to WCNI 90.9 FM on the 30th of May. Is that the right date? Anyway,
I think so.
Memorial Day, Monday, he's
That's correct.
coming to WCNI. And the questions here are minimal compared to what we're going to give him there. So, yay! So, let me think of a really good one for this. Did you realize when you were coming to New England how well received you would be? Because I know just from the people that have reached out to me and said I really needed to get you on this show. I already had asked you to be here before people started telling me about you.
Wow.
But did you realize how well received you'd be?
No, not at all. And I still don't know sometimes, because it seems like the conversations happen like word of mouth. You can't see it, you can't hear it, but
Right.
it's happening,
It is happening.
So that's a big part of the culture here, If somebody sees it and they likes it, they'll talk about it. It's not necessarily published, But
well,
it
will
just
be
starts
because we're going
happening.
to put you in a magazine.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm amazed by how kind and supportive people have been. I didn't realize that they would take to country music so much, but it's very popular up here.
We got some country people around here.
Oh, yeah.
If you meet Nick Bossy, he born and raised up here. He's a country star
Yep.
in this area. So keep your ears open for him. I could talk with you for another hour easily and find out more about you, but I can't do that. So unmic yourself. You want to tell everybody where
okay.
you're streaming and where you're playing real
Sure.
quick.
Absolutely. TravisHyll.com, just spelled Hyll. You'll find all the events and links to social media and everything on there. Next show I have May 17th at Crook Point Brewing in East Providence, May 18th, Saltwater Farm Vineyard in Stonington, May 23rd, Kingdom of the Hawk, North Stonington, May 24th, Oxford, Massachusetts, VFW, and May 30th, VFW in Jewett City. May 31st, I'm actually going to sing the national anthem at Dodd Stadium.
Nice. Yay.
Thank you.
All right, take us out with the song. I'm so glad you're here.
Me too. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, my friend. So you can see him. Dodd Stadium, he's going to sing the national anthem. I'm impressed. I can't sing at Dodd Stadium. But anyway, he will be on WCNI. We're going to talk about, on Memorial Day Monday, we're going to talk about our connection to vets, which we didn't even touch on today, and our love for veterans and how we support them, and we're going to hear more of his music. So let him take us out with a song. Thank you so much for watching Grandma's Attic again. We're blessed by you. We thank you for being loyal, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.
All right, this is just a little instrumental called Irish Coffee. I wrote about 14 years ago. Hope you enjoy.